What is emotion? Emotion is a feeling. It's a way of knowing. In TOK, we watched some videos. In the videos that I watched, one of them was about robots, and the other one was about prosthetic limbs. So I'm going to talk about the one about robots first. Robots, in general, are those metal things that look cool and can dance funky. Um, but in this video, these robots could show emotion, which is something that robots could never ever do before. Because they were just metal square boxes type things. Like, the coolest thing that they could do was walk around. So these robots can show motion because they look at your face and it analyzes how your face is and it can reflect whatever your emotion is on your face. So I'm smiling, and if the robot is in front of me, then that robot can portray the same emotion that I'm portraying. So the idea behind this is, well, one day these robots could be sympathetic towards you. If you're not feeling well, like you're sad or something, and you're just like, like I'm sad, it's my sad face, then that robot can be sympathetic and be sad with you. Um, or maybe it could be happy so that maybe you would feel happier. I guess it depends. Um, what I thought was interesting about this was how emotion becomes what your face looks like. And obviously, with technology, they're not trying to have the robot feel the emotion, but I just thought it was interesting, like the difference between what emotion looks like and what emotion actually is. So emotion is what you actually feel, what you're going through, and it's like a whole body experience. And whatever you're feeling at that time, it also is being pushed out into the universe. And so it also it affects how you are with other people as well. So the idea that it's just on your face, it's really interesting because your face is such a conveyor of emotion. If you're smiling, you're happy. If you're frowning, you're sad. But at the same time, we can mask so many of these emotions. And so it's interesting how a robot who can just look at your face and figure out your emotion, it's just like the rudimentary, the most basic way of knowing how you're feeling. Okay, so the next video that I watched, it was about prosthetic limbs. And so this guy had invented these limbs for people who had lost arms. And so what it was is these full arms, and they are obviously they're prosthetic, but the technology in them is very, very advanced. So you can actually move your fingers and pick up a spoon and feed yourself. It's not just something that looks like an arm. And so, for me, watching this video, I just looked at the emotion behind it. This guy was so passionate about what he was doing, and what I think fueled even more for him was because he was doing this for veterans of the war in Iraq. So, American soldiers who had come back and who had lost one of their arms, or both of their arms, whatever amount. Um, and so he was building these arms for them and seeing how they reacted to having these new arms. And it was so interesting because it's something that you can't even begin to imagine. Like, losing one of your arms is just like how can you go without a part of your body? And these people do it every single day. And so the fact that he was able to help them, like, there's no doubt that he would just be like so encouraged and happy to be able to help them. And like there's no words to describe it, how it's just passion was in his face. And um, so there was that emotion behind this guy. And one of the stories that he told was that they had gone to this, it was kind of like a rehab camp for the soldiers, and they went to talk to these soldiers to see how they could help them better. and these were all soldiers who had lost limbs. And so everybody was chatting and stuff, and this one guy wasn't really saying much. But at the end, they talked to him, and he was sitting down at the table, and he had his left arm. And so he was saying, no, don't worry about me, worry about everybody else. Like, I got lucky. I'm a lefty, and I only have my left arm. And when he said this, I was like, oh yeah, okay. See, if if I lost a limb, I would want it for me. I would want it to be my left arm. Not that I would want to lose a limb, but for me it just made sense because I'm right-handed. But then it struck me like obviously not as strongly as it struck him, the designer of these limbs. But when they were leaving, the guy pushes away from the table, and he's also missing both of his legs. And so that really put it into perspective for me. It was like, there's so much going on for these people, but at the same time, this guy was so full of like optimism and just like, and he was just like, no, like seriously, I'm totally cool. Like, I still have my left arm. And we're supposed to be looking at the emotion behind this, but I don't know. I just felt so like, so moved by that it's like, you have had so much taken away from you, but at the same time, you have such a positive outlook on the bad that's happened to you that you're just like, I'm a lefty, it's all good. So that for me was really interesting, um, and it was incredible to listen to this guy talk, and because he was just so passionate about this, and he just kept, whenever he would tell his story, it was like you were right there with him. And I think the link between both of these videos obviously is emotion, but it's like when you do something, you have an emotion behind everything that you do. Like right now that I'm sitting here, I'm pleased, I'm content, I'm happy, I'm doing this video. But on the other hand, if I was sitting here and I was unhappy, then you who are watching this would probably be able to tell that I'm unhappy and I don't want to be doing this. So it just showed me like how in the way that you present things, um, the emotion that you have to convey really does show through. And it showed in this robot that is totally inanimate, or inanimate, like it could be like, it's not a human being, is what I mean, to somebody who actually has a lot of emotion. And there's so many things that are just conveyed as a person and as something that's inanimate, but they're both called emotion.